What's up, family? Man, we're back with part 4 of our relationship series. Today we're talking about communication. Communication. This is going to get deep. Man, it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Again, the intent of this video is for it to be educational. I know it's going to be triggering for some of you. It's going to be offensive to some of you. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's not my intent. Man, years ago, I read a book back in 95, 96. I read this book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by Dr. John Gray. And this book completely tricked me out in regards to how men think and how women think. And there's a lot of truth to that book. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. There's a lot of truth to that book. But communication, you know, in the book it talks about, man, we really don't communicate well because we're from different planets. You know, guys and women, we see things differently. We receive information different and blah, 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 blah. Great analogy. Great analogy. I was talking to God about that one day. My late wife, Cecilia, who passed away from breast cancer, I was struggling with communicating with her, or communicating to her. I was talking to her and just trying to give her some information, and it was as though she wasn't receptive to it. Stay with me. And it just, I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand why she couldn't hear me. She heard me, but it didn't register with her. And every time we would have these heart-to-heart conversations and I would try to give her some information and she couldn't receive it from me. But she would get on YouTube or somewhere else, some old white guy would say something and it became facts. But it was the exact same information that I gave her. The exact same motherfucking thing that I told her. But she couldn't hear it from me. But she heard it from them. And I would get so pissed off, triggered. I was beyond pissed. You know what I mean? I was. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Talking about communication. And one day I was outside and I was just like talking to God, just having a heart-to-heart. God, what the fuck? Why is it that this woman you gave me can't hear a motherfucking thing I say to her? But you let some old white motherfucker that she don't know, ain't never fucking met, tell her some shit. They ain't even talking to her. He just put some shit out in a fucking book or in a fucking video. And she take the shit as the fucking gospel, as though you, God, said it directly to her. What the fuck is wrong with us? You know what I mean? What the fuck is wrong with me? How come I can't communicate with her? How come she can't fucking hear me? Why do she keep ignoring me and dismissing me and minimizing what the fuck I say? But then some old white dude that she's never met say the same motherfucking thing and she accepts it and embraces it and runs with it and shares it like it's the first time she's ever heard it. Oh, we're going there today. We're going there. And this is not to bash my late wife. Man, that was my world. She was my world. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Talking about communication. And so I'm outside talking to God, just walking in the woods, and I'm talking to God. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with her? What the fuck is wrong with me? How come I can't talk to her? But I could talk to everybody else. Everybody else hears me. Everybody else understands what the fuck I'm trying to say. But my own motherfucking wife can't hear me. What the fuck is going on? Talking about communication. And what God had to show me, God took me back to that book, Men Are From Mars and Women From Venus. He said, Elijah, there's some truth to that, but it's deeper than that. It's a whole lot deeper than that. See, a whole lot of people get in relationships and they think that they could talk to each other and met each other. Everybody's going to hear each other and you guys going to understand each other and whoop, 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 and everything will be good. And you could just move right along and life is great and grand and blah, 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 blah. And 6 months later, a year later, you crashing and burning. You motherfuckers can't talk to each other. You yelling and screaming and arguing and fighting and cussing each other out and disrespecting each other because you can't talk to each other. How is it in the beginning of y'all relationships, Elijah? And he said, y'all is talking about humanity. How is it that in the beginning of y'all relationships, y'all so loving and, just like, oh, patient, and you're talking and you're trying to say some stuff and you're talking at the same time. Oh, no, go ahead, baby. Go ahead, finish what you're going to say. And then I'll say what I'm saying. And you guys are just that. Communication is like on point. And then you get committed to each other. And as soon as you get committed to each other, communication starts to fucking dwindle. You guys can't fucking understand each other. What the fuck happened between you two? I said, God, I don't get this. I don't get this. What the fuck is going on? And what God had to show me was, Elijah, you can't communicate what you don't understand. You can't communicate what you don't know. I'm scratching my head like, what the fuck? I had long hair, I had dreadlocks at the time. Like, what the hell are you talking about, God? He said, Elijah, in the beginning, it's superficial. In the beginning, you guys ain't having no real heart-to-heart conversations. In the beginning, you guys are talking about generic topics. That's not triggering you. Oh, we going there. But now that you're in a relationship, now it's time to have some deep conversations. Now I see you a lot more. I'm with you a lot more. And now we're talking. Now we're talking about some real shit. And it's not that we're really talking, but I'm triggering you and you're triggering me. We're not knowing that we're triggering each other. I don't know that you have issues with da-da-da-da-da. You don't know that I got issues with da-da-da-da. And so we're talking. And the whole time you're talking to me, you're triggering me. And so I can't hear what the fuck you talking about because I'm getting pissed, because I'm getting in my fucking feelings. We're going there. This is going to get deep. And the whole time I'm talking to you, I'm triggering you and I don't know it. And I'm pissing you the fuck off. And I don't even know that I'm pissing you off. I don't even know that I'm setting you off. My beautiful wife, Cecilia, her father was a black man. She didn't have a great relationship with him at all. At all. Her first boyfriend, who became her first husband, was a black man. And the relationship ended bad. The relationship was toxic as fuck. And I didn't understand the dynamics. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so now that me and Cecilia are married, she sees me as a black man. And I'm trying to talk to her. But it's triggering her because now she's remembering her ex and her daddy. She knows that I'm not her daddy. She knows that I'm not her ex. She had no respect for them. she had no respect for them at all. And now, here's another black man. I'm trying to show her that I'm not like her ex-husband. I'm loving, I'm attentive, I'm nurturing, I'm compassionate. But what I didn't understand was the depths of her issues. And so I'm trying to talk to her. But because I didn't understand her issues, she can't fucking hear me. And now that she can't hear me, I don't see that she can't hear me because of her issues. To me, I see, why is this motherfucker rejecting me? Why? Because that's my issues. I'm in this relationship. I love her. I know she loves me, but I need validating. I need her acceptance. And I'm not getting it at this time. I'm feeling rejected and dismissed and minimized. And that's triggering me because I felt that my whole motherfucking life. And so we're not communicating at all. Because what I want to say, I can't say because I don't know the fucking problem. I'm not understanding that I'm being triggered. And so I'm getting frustrated with her because she's triggering me. But I don't know I'm being triggered. I'm getting mad because I'm triggered. But I feel like I'm being rejected. And I'm not understanding, why are you rejecting me? Why the fuck are you treating me this way? That's how it's coming across to me. Why the fuck are you invalidating me? That's how I see it. And so I'm getting frustrated and mad. But she's also been triggered. And so now you have these two people who don't even know the depths of each other's pain and suffering, who don't know the depths of each other's trauma. They love each other, but they don't fucking understand each other. They love each other, but they don't know how to fucking communicate with each other. Because I can't see your pain, and she can't see my pain. Talking about communication. And this is why the great majority of relationships fail. Because we don't know how to communicate with each other. Because we've never learned and really understood each other's trauma and the pain that they're carrying. And it's not that we have to understand each other's pain and trauma so that we could tiptoe around it. Now I'm a little older now. Cecilia passed away in 2015. Now I'm able to sit back and look down. If I really understood the depths of her pain and why she did what she did, I wouldn't have been so easily offended. I wouldn't have personalized it and been triggered. Had I dealt with my shit, I wouldn't have been triggered by her. I wouldn't have been offended by her. I wouldn't have felt invalidated and dismissed and minimized had I dealt with my shit. But I didn't know I had the shit. And so now I'm in this relationship with somebody I love, somebody I adore, somebody who means the world to me. And I didn't realize that I was triggering her. I didn't realize that she was triggering me. I didn't realize that it wasn't that we weren't trying to communicate. We didn't know how to communicate the fact that we were suffering from some shit that didn't have anything to do with each other. Her pain and her trauma didn't have anything to do with me. My pain, my trauma didn't have anything to do with her. I wasn't even aware that I was carrying that pain and trauma. She wasn't aware she was carrying her pain and trauma. We loved the fuck out of each other. But we couldn't communicate with each other like we needed to. Because our pain and our trauma became a hurdle, became a roadblock. And so now when I see you, I see somebody that's dismissive of me. Now when I see you, I see somebody that minimizes me, that doesn't respect me, that doesn't value the education and the intelligence that I have. That's not how she was. But that's what I saw her as. Because every time I try to talk to her, she couldn't receive it. She didn't receive it. And so I had to make sense out of it. And the only way that I can make sense out of it is you don't respect the black man. You respect old ass white men. You don't respect me as your husband. You don't value me as your husband. You don't cherish me as your husband. That's how I took it. Because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how deep the pain ran. On her side or my side. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to learn who the fuck we are. How can I communicate with you and I don't even know who I am? All we can communicate about is superficial bullshit. But we can't really communicate about real heart-to-heart matters. We can't communicate about the real deep shit. And so anytime anything sets us off, because we've been triggered, there is no communicating. I'm talking, but all you're hearing is womp, 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 womp. All I hear is nag, 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 nag. What we don't hear is the pain and suffering. Man, communication is crucial. It's essential to a healthy relationship. But you have to learn how to communicate. And so many of us mistakenly think that we already know how to. Because we think communicating is just me saying what I want to say. Me being able to express myself. That's part of communicating. That's just a part of communicating. I could communicate to somebody that speaks Chinese. I could say what I want to say, how I want to say it all day long. But if this Chinese person doesn't understand English, no matter how passionate I am, no matter how sincere I am, no matter how loving I am, they're not going to receive the message. Because we have an obstacle standing between us. So communication is being able to express yourself and understand, hey, there may be roadblocks. How do we get around those roadblocks for you to receive the message still? How do I communicate with you in the way to where you can understand me? How do I communicate my fears, my feelings, my insecurities, my worries, my anxieties, and all my other issues when I can't trust you? Trust is a huge factor in communicating when we're talking about relationships. We have to grow up and understand we don't have all this shit figured out. And so we're jumping in relationships not even knowing how to fucking communicate the real deep shit. And then we wonder why after a few months, after a year, after a couple of years, the relationship just dies off and we can't even talk to each other. When in the beginning, we couldn't stop talking to each other enough. When in the beginning, we were inseparable. We didn't want to get off the phone. We didn't want to let each other go. I just love listening to you talk. Just talk. And we're just talking back and forth and all fucking night long. Man, we have to grow up. We have to understand who we are. We have to understand how we feel, how we think, why we think the way we do. Why we get triggered. Talking about communicating. One thing God had to show me was, Elijah, you're frustrated because you're trying to communicate with these people and they can't hear you. They're not getting it. You're as clear as you could possibly be, but for some reason, it's just not making sense to them. One of the things that I have a habit of is like, do that make sense? I have a habit of saying that a lot. And I've done that for years because I've communicated to the best of my ability and people just didn't get it. And so I started saying this years ago. Do that make sense? Because I wanted to make sure that they got it. And what God had to show me was, Elijah, you are so frustrated with trying to express yourself, with trying to communicate with other people, and them not hearing you, them not understanding you. Do you understand why, Elijah? It's like these motherfuckers is just ignorant as fuck. And it's like, God damn, what the fuck is wrong? These motherfuckers just stuck on stupid. I'm blaming them because I can't communicate any clearer. I'm blaming them and I'm mad and pissed at them because they're not processing. They're not capable of processing the information I'm giving them. I'm about to drop something. And God showed me, no, Elijah. You say that's why you're pissed off. You say that's why you're frustrated. The truth is, there's a little boy inside of you that's been trying to communicate with you for the longest time. And you keep minimizing him. You keep ignoring him. You keep invalidating him. And that's fucked him up. And now you trying to communicate and do all the other same things that little boy is trying to do with you. You got these people's best interests at heart. You're trying to help them. But they ain't paying attention. They can't hear you. They're dismissing you. And that fucks you up. Because you need to learn, Elijah, how you've made that little boy inside you feel. Every time that they've cried out to you. Every time that they tried to get your attention. Every time that they try to communicate with you. That little kid inside of you. It's always been there. Always tried to communicate with you. Always tried to talk with you. Always tried to give you the best advice possible. And you blew them off. You invalidated them. Elijah, you have to learn how to communicate with yourself. You have to learn how to cherish yourself. You have to learn how to hear your intuition. You have to learn how to stop dismissing and invalidating your intuition. Talking about communicating. As long as you dismiss and invalidate and minimize that little boy, that little girl inside of you, as long as you ignore your intuition, when you get in a relationship with somebody else, they're going to do the same to you. Why? So that you can grow the fuck up and understand, damn, that's what I've been doing to myself. That's what I do to myself. I tell myself I'm stupid. I tell myself that I'm dumb. I tear myself down. And then I get pissed and feel disrespected when somebody else do it to me. I tell myself that I ain't shit. How dare you tell me that I ain't nobody, and we get pissed when motherfuckers do it to us. But we do it to ourselves. We've been doing it to ourselves. All part of communicating. Another struggle, another hurdle that we have in communicating. We say something, but our actions say something else. We say something, but our energy, our frequency, our vibration says something else. And so you're mad and complaining about woo-doo-woo-doo-woo. But your actions say that you accept that shit. Your actions say that that's okay. Your mouth said it ain't. But your actions say it's okay. And we don't understand how we're sending mixed messages. Talking about communicating. Man, may we grow up and understand that, man, I got to get my shit straight. I got to deal with this. And I understand none of us are going to be perfect. None of us is going to deal with all our trauma, all of our pain, all da-da-da. You know what I mean? We're always going to have something we have to work on. That doesn't mean that we never get in a relationship. But you have to have an understanding of who the fuck you are and what you've gone through and why you think and act the way you do. You got to have an understanding of, man, I need to learn to trust my intuition. I need to stop invalidating that little kid inside of me. I need to learn to stop dismissing and minimizing my gut feelings. I need to stop tearing myself down. I need to stop saying all this negative, toxic shit to myself. That's how I need to learn how to communicate with me. I need to build myself up. I understand that I'm not perfect, but I have to stop tearing myself down for making a mistake, for not being perfect. Communicating. I need to understand that just because you talk to me about something heartfelt doesn't mean that you're attacking me. I feel attacked because I'm being triggered. I feel like I'm not good enough because I'm being triggered. Because of my past has made me feel like I'm not good enough. And so I carried that bullshit and that negative, toxic thinking into this relationship. So every time you criticize me, or every time you give me some constructive criticism, or every time you try to tell me something that I'm not doing, or woo-doo-doo-woo, man, I feel attacked. I feel triggered. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like you're tearing me down. Because of my bullshit. But I don't look at my bullshit. I blame you and say you're mean, you're cruel, you're toxic. You're not good for my mental health. This is the stupid bullshit we say to each other. You're not good for my peace. That's some of the most ignorant ass shit ever. Your peace ain't got shit to do with another motherfucker. Your peace is all about you. Your joy is all about you. Your happiness is all about you. All this shit has to come from within. But we don't understand that. And so we blame the other people. We blame the other person. You just don't respect women. You just don't know how to talk to women. You just don't respect guys. You don't know how to talk to a man. And and all this other bullshit because we both have been triggered. Because we both got some unresolved fucking issues. And the truth is, I love you. But I'm hurt. The truth is, I love you, but I'm scared. I love you, but I'm offended. And I'm offended because of my past. But you don't understand that. You can't see that. And so I'm frustrated and I'm screaming and yelling because I don't know how to communicate my feelings and my pain and my trauma to you. Because I'm not really aware of them. And I don't know how to handle them. So I can't handle you. I can't talk to you in a respectful way because I'm triggered. And now everything's been elevated to a 10 because I feel attacked. I feel dismissed. I feel invalidated. I feel like you're not listening to me and all this other shit that we carry. So our emotional state skyrockets. And now we're just going back and forth, trying to say the most hateful thing, trying to say the most hurtful thing. Because we've been triggered. Man. Communication is key in a relationship. But you have to learn how to communicate with yourself. First and foremost. You have to understand who the fuck you are. And why you are that way. Because if you don't, you're going to always blame that other person as them making you crazy, them driving you crazy. And so often, guys, we look at women because we start trying to have these conversations and they get really emotional and they just, and we look at them and we're like, man, fuck, you fucking crazy. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm just trying to talk to you and bitch, you fucking crazy. And it's not that they're crazy. They've been triggered. And all that pain and trauma has shot to the fucking roof. And they don't know how to handle it. They've never dealt with it. And so now they're screaming. Now they're angry and yelling and in attack mode because now they got that natural defense mechanism kicks in. Survival mode. Now they ain't hearing shit you trying to say. Because they're in survival mode. Man, we got to grow up. We got to humble ourselves and acknowledge the fact that, damn, there's a whole lot that I need to learn. It's a whole lot about me that I need to learn. So that I can adequately express that to you. Man, I hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, to even challenge your way of thinking. Communication is essential. It's crucial. But you have to know how to communicate with yourself. You can learn all the fucking love languages you want. Until you deal with your fucking trauma, until you deal with your fucking issues, until you understand your stuff, none of that's going to help you. Happy healing. Peace.